Much better.
Okay.
Ruined my day.
Oh, and there's my husband in the background.
That's okay.
So he's watching TV and snuggling dogs. Okay. So basically what I said is Heather was able to build this awesome business that she's passionate about from her kitchen table. And since I've had so many of you guys reach out to me and ask me, how do you do this? How can I work from home? How can I homeschool my kids and not kill them and still be productive? I thought, oh my gosh, who's more perfect to bring on than Heather? So Heather, let's start there. Let's see, you started working from home while your kids were still young.
Yeah.
And while you didn't have to homeschool your kids, you still had them full-time during the summers. So
Yeah.
can you tell us what it was like when you first started working from home?
It was definitely an adjustment because I had not worked out of the home or in the home. So the whole thing was different for me. But and depending on the age of your kids, mine were little and up to, I think my oldest was 12. The older kids though, one thing that I did is that, we made it a family affair. So not a family affair of working the business or my coaching practice, but I wanted them involved and I shared with them. I just said, hey, this is what mom's doing now, because it was different, it was like, this is new. So I'm like, this is what mom's doing and why and how much I love it, and kind of talked about the difference I was able to make in people's lives. And then we made something fun about it. Like, if I know it's a little different, but let's plan a trip to Disneyland, or let's get everyone's buy-in. Can we all help so that mom can do a little bit of work on the side for the benefit of everybody? And that seemed to really go over well with the older ones. The little ones, can you hear me okay? These are just some, I hope this is what you're looking for, but little ones, what was really helpful in working from home, and especially during the summer when they're all home, was having a special box of toys that they could play with that only came out when mom needed to work. So thankfully in the business that I'm in, I don't have to sit for hours at my desk. I could do little 15, 20 minutes here, 15, 20 minutes there. So it wasn't a ton, which is a benefit of what we do as coaches. But nevertheless, a 5-year-old that needs mom was very appeased with a box of toys that she only saw when mom was on the phone. So I was like, get on the phone, mom. I want to play with those toys. So anyway, I'm not sure if that's what you were looking for, but yeah, it just was an adjustment. I think just being open and saying this and making it a family affair.
I love that. So how you were at home, you were used to being home with your kids, but now you were also working from home. Did you ever feel like you were trapped or going crazy, like you needed to get out?
Just from the kids?
Yeah, from being with the kids so much and then also having to put in so many hours of work.
Yeah, well, the thing is I guess I'm not in that type of business that it was so many hours of work. So that is what, with what I do, I started off and I was probably putting about 5 to 8 hours a week in. So it was actually, to be honest, that was my break, because I had some adult interaction, and checking in with my clients was like a break from maybe just the summertime of doing kids. But I love being at home with my kids, and it was really cool that I could do both. So, but yeah, as far as feeling, that's a very real thing though, is I think I felt more before I started working, was the stay-at-home mom that didn't have an outlet. So I'm thankful actually for my coaching practice for that reason.
I love it. Okay, if there was one thing you could have told yourself before you started working from home and trying to juggle the kids and making sure they were taken care of while you were taken care of, what's one thing you could share with our audience?
Planning the night before, which a lot of people are really good at, but I wasn't. I just kind of was I resist structure naturally. I like to fly by the seat of my pants, and that doesn't work as well if you want to be a successful mother and work from home successfully. So planning the night before, and then honestly getting up and getting dressed. My dad was an entrepreneur for, my growing up, and he shared, when I started working from home, he shared that with me. He said, Heather, even if you have the luxury of working from your pajamas, don't just get up, get showered, get dressed, and dress for the day, and your productivity in being a mom and your business will go up. So that is something that I would go back and would have done sooner, is just a little more planning. And this is more than one thing, but if you have the luxury of setting your own hours for what you do from home, set your hours and be off so you can be present with your kids and then present with your work. But when work is over, work is over. Have a set, I go home time, even though you're home.
That is one of the biggest things that my colleagues have been learning, because you can get so wrapped up in work that you can be working like at the dinner table, answering emails or whatever. Yeah. And my boss, who is amazing, she's the dean of students at UVU, she said, you guys, go in and put that you're away so you don't get any messages after 5 o'clock. And if you need to work late, put away from 10 to 11 when you're with your kids. And she said the same thing. It is so important to know when to start and stop, and to be totally there for your family when you're there, and not half and half at work, because
that's what gets exhausting. That is what I've learned over the almost 9 years of working from home, is when you're trying to multitask. Multitask doesn't work. Be present for one and then present for the other. And it's a lot easier said than done, because sometimes it's to be, for moms, we know sometimes it's easier to be present with your work rather than present with the Legos on the ground or cleaning or what. It's like, well, I got to do this work. But yeah, just because if you don't, what I found, and I fell into this for a short time, is then you become a little bit resentful or guilty, or just feel like you're just not doing anything very well. So yeah, I think that's if you have the luxury. Most jobs are not, unless you're, surgeon or health professional that you need to go into an emergency. Most jobs there's not a huge emergency, and you can have a away time, like you said. So
I love it. I also love get up, get dressed.
Oh, now I can hear you.
Okay. I also love that still have a routine, like still get up, get dressed, brush your hair, brush your teeth.
Yes. The routine is huge. That's something that even though I've been working from home for all these years, the kids being home now full time from school and home, online school, the first week we kind of went, just stay up late, sleep in. And I mean, that doesn't last long before you start feeling just icky. It's like that week between Christmas and New Year's where you're just, no rules apply. So yeah, routine's awesome.
Excellent. Well, Heather, thank you so much again for joining us tonight. I know you're busy with your family during the evenings usually, so thanks for taking the time. And
thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And if you would like to follow her, you can find her on Facebook at Heather. Heather, is it Nagy or Nagy?
Nagy. Nagy. It's Hungarian, but Nagy. Yeah. Nagy.
Okay. Heather Nagy Shah. And I'm sure she'd love it if you followed her. She's always got great things happening on her page, lots of inspiring things to help us during this time. And anyhow, thank you so much, Heather. You guys all have a wonderful evening, and we will see you tomorrow night at 5 o'clock.
Nice.